Hello. Today I'm covering the topic of the dwarf planet Pluto. The theories of there being a ninth planet began in 1902 when Percival Lowell was researching Mars, and his research led him to believe that there was a ninth planet. Um, he was studying, or more like comparing, the orbits of planets, comets, and meteor showers. And then in 1911, he purchased a blink comparator, which is a viewing apparatus that was used by astronomers to find the differences between two photographs of the night sky. So, yeah. Then, 19 years later, Clyde Tombaugh, uh, he discovered Pluto on February 18th, 1930, using this blink comparator. Pluto's atmosphere is very thin compared to Earth's, but the air is similar because like Earth's, Pluto's atmosphere is mostly made of nitrogen, but it also contains methane and carbon monoxide. Also, when it's farthest from the sun, the air freezes, or it can freeze, and it falls as snow on the planet. Pluto has many different kinds of ice, but the two main types of ice on Pluto are nitrogen ice and methane ice. Nitrogen ice is it goes from being solid to being a gas, which is why Pluto has such a thin atmosphere. And also, the methane ice is it forms like the mountains in the bedrock of Pluto, and Pluto gets its color from methane and the nitrogen ice mixing together. So that's pretty fascinating. Um, the scientists here think that Pluto has like a rocky core and it's surrounded by ice. Unlike the other planets, Pluto's orbit is not a complete circle, it's more like a stretched out oval, and this impacts the variations of the distance Pluto is from the Sun most of the time. Pluto takes 248 Earth years to complete one orbit around the Sun. Pluto's orbit affects the seasons drastically because of the amount of solar radiation it receives during these variations of the distance from the sun. Since Pluto is relatively smaller and lower in mass compared to Earth, the gravitational pull is also lower. The acceleration on Pluto is 0.62 meters per second, while on Earth it's 9.8 meters per second. So let's put this in perspective. Say you drop a pen on the floor and it takes 1 second to hit the ground on Earth. That same pen will take 16 seconds to hit the ground on Pluto. Escape speed is the minimum speed an object needs to be traveling to completely break free from the gravitational pull of a planet. So it would take less energy to launch, like, say, a rocket off of Pluto than onto Earth, since the gravitational pull is way weaker there. We don't know for sure if Pluto even has a magnetic field to begin with, but if it does, it's probably very weak or, like I said, non existent because Pluto spins very slowly and it's also very small. Pluto is tilted on its side, like way more than Uranus, so that means the seasons are like extreme. So, for example, sometimes the North Pole on Pluto points almost directly at the sun, and other times it points completely away from the sun. Pluto spins around once every 6.4 Earth days, and it revolves around the sun. It completes its orbit every 248 Earth years, like I mentioned before. Currently, the only mission to ever visit Pluto was New Horizons. It flew by Pluto in 2015 and gave us our close-up pictures of Pluto and all the data that we have about Pluto. or at least majority of it. Pluto has 5 different moons, Charon being the biggest, then the other 4, Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra. Um, Charon is so big that Pluto and Charon actually orbit a point in space between them, so it kind of looks like a double planet system. The chances that humans will ever be able to live on Pluto are like slim to none. Mainly because of, for one, the cold. Um, Pluto is negative 229 degrees Celsius, which is negative 380 degrees Fahrenheit, making it like extremely cold. Like I mentioned before, it has a thin atmosphere, and the atmosphere isn't just made up of nitrogen, it's also made up of methane and carbon monoxide, and that makes like no breathable air for humans. Also, it lacks liquid water, and obviously humans need liquid water to survive. So the chances that humans will ever be able to live on Pluto are like maybe like 0.